Hello, welcome back to the Intervention channel, or welcome. My name is Steve Bruno. I'm a professional interventionist, and one of the things that I wanted to cover is dealing with drug-induced psychosis. It's something that I'm handling or attempting to handle right now with the family I'm working with. And it's interesting, this last intervention I did just this last week, the guy was in a drug-induced psychosis. He's been doing fentanyl and God knows what, Adderall, I think, for years. And he had reached a point where he was hearing cops in the walls, the cabinets. He was afraid of everybody. He was afraid of me, not because I did anything, he was just on this default setting to be paranoid of me, of his father, his mother, things in the walls. She flushed the toilet twice, I think, one day, and he railed against her for 30 minutes about why she did that. So he's definitely out there. Unfortunately, his solution, he was talked into this, I think, by his mom, and the mental health division of any state is certainly happy to comply with this sort of request. He got onto Prozac, and it's sad because it's just such a misguided action. First of all, those drugs are not designed to handle drug-induced psychosis. Okay, a drug-induced psychosis is different than organic psychosis. In other words, if somebody is actually legitimately, organically, physically psychotic. I'm not talking about psychosomatics. I mean psychosomatic illness. I'm talking about an actual psychotic. For this guy, his name is Steve as well. For this guy, Steve, he was in drug-induced psychosis. So number one, antipsychotics, antidepressants, all of that is not designed to handle drug-induced psychosis. Now, that's not to say that some Ativan, some Klonopin, some sort of Xanax or Valium would not be good initially to sedate him. That's a different sort of story, a sedative to calm him down, which is what we're employing right now. But to add something like Seroquel, an antipsychotic, on top of fentanyl, Adderall, I think he's doing black tar heroin, is insanity in itself. That is not a good way to handle it. One of the probably the most important things about a case with drug-induced psychosis is to recognize it for what it is. The father of the kid I'm helping now today here in beautiful Huntington Beach is definitely in a drug-induced psychosis. He's dangerous. He's aggressive. But I've seen this before. He's doing Flakka, which is also known as bath salts. If you look it up, it'd be horrifying stuff. And actually in other parts of the country, not in California, but in other parts of the country, they actually sell this stuff in head shops, along with different types of fake cocaine, fake pot, also known as spice, which have chemicals. There's nothing natural about these products. Spice is a smokable herb that's sprayed with mind-altering, psychosis-inducing drugs, dissociative drugs, which means drugs that cause you to feel as though you're not in your body anymore. So these are highly dangerous substances, but at the end of the day, if you're dealing with a drug-induced psychosis, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, if the person is wandering the streets, you definitely want to take shifts in looking after them and following them. You don't want to overload the person with significances and crying and pleading and that kind of a thing, because in all likelihood, if they're a drug addict, they're not empathetic. In other words, they don't feel for others. So although they can be caring, when it comes to people in one's own family, that switch tends to be turned off. The other thing that you want to do is to try to get that person's attention onto the physical universe around them, onto their surroundings. Often psychosis is exacerbated by introversion. In other words, attention turned inward. Me, my life, my past, my problems, my woes, my troubles, my future, my current problems, blah, 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 me. If you can get the person's attention and have them look at things, oh, look at the plant, touch the tree, look at the clouds, look at the pretty girl, look at the whatever. If you can get that person's attention onto things outside of himself, that can be helpful. The other thing you can do if he or she is being a danger to himself or others, or is making threats, getting that person into a psych ward on a 5150, or what's known as a 72-hour hold. And please, if you do this, you want to first of all, watch my video on 5150s. It's a 2-part thing, and it's on 5150s, a 72-hour hold, and having someone committed. And I give I like to think some helpful information there about how to turn that to your advantage. So that's something you want to be afraid of. If the person is a danger to himself or others, you can have them committed briefly to a psychiatric hospital. You call the police. The psychiatrist will commit them up to 72 hours. By the way, it's not 72 hours. It's up to 72 hours. And then you can get a letter from the treatment center, et cetera, et cetera. Watch the video and you'll get the information. You can also write to me. You can go to stevebruno.com and there's a contact form there. You can fill that out. My phone number is on there. You can text me, write, or call me. You can also buy my book. It's called More Than Hope. It's on Amazon and Kindle. I encourage you to read the reviews, buy the book. It's like $7 on Kindle, I think, $15 for a paperback, and read that. There's lots of good information on there. I expound on all of the subjects that you'll find here on the Intervention channel, and certainly click the next video or shop around. I've got a lot of videos here for you, and I'm happy to consult with you free of charge if I have time. And that's it for the drug-induced psychosis subject. If you have questions and you want me to expand on this in some way, just ask a question in the comments section. Comments, by the way, are moderated, so so be nice. Otherwise, it won't appear. Ask your question, though, please, and then everybody can see the answer. So I'm Steve Bruno. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for watching the Intervention channel.